Creating an authentic connection means I'm bridging two realms together. Connecting isn't just about expressing, it's also about letting them express to you. It's about getting to know them back, because that's how trust is established, and you have to be willing to risk being rejected if you want authentic connection. You should not be expecting any change unless something happens in their heart, and you don't deserve to move anything in their heart unless you're willing to accept them for who they actually are. Because it's a very entitled thing to expect people to change when you're not willing to love them, you're not willing to understand them, you're not willing to connect to them for who they are. When you came to Christ, it was an inside job. There was nothing about what you did externally. There was nothing about you performing or trying to law keep that brought you into the revelation of Christ. It was an inside job. So what happened first, the outward change or the inward change? If that's true for you, why would it not be true for someone else? Spiritual Intelligence for Dummies, welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Matt Kim. And today we're talking about something I think is very important that we don't actually give enough airtime to in the spiritual space, at least not in the charismatic stream of Christianity that I'm a part of, which is relational intelligence. Relational intelligence. Why is that important? Because people matter to God. And I would even say that most, if not all of your ministry is pertaining to how it affects people, right? So people are very important to God. He puts us in families. He puts us in communities. He puts us around friends. And there's a lot that is in the heart of God when it comes to our relationships, okay? And so we're going to be diving into relational intelligence and how to develop healthy connections spiritually. Because look, unless something happens spiritually first, it's not going to happen materially, right? We talked about this all the time on this channel, right? First spiritual and then natural. It's a protocol of creation. And so this is why spiritual intelligence is important, because it allows us to do the things we need to do there so that we could do the things we need to do here, right? So relational intelligence, let's talk about it. As I'm kind of jumping into this, I guess, teaching, you could call it teaching, I want you to be thinking about people in your life that this would apply to, right? People you love or people you're called to that maybe you're not all the way there, but you're developing a love for them, and you're working that out. People that you have a strenuous relationship with, people that you have a growing relationship with. I want you to be thinking about this because, guys, remember, this channel is not about theory. I don't care about that, right? That's very useless to me. But this channel is about application, right? I don't want to be all deep and mystical and prophetic and talk about, the deep things of God if it's not applicable to anything, right? So the onus is always on you to take what we talk about and then, go implement it in your life, right? I want this to move the needle. I want this to change your life for the better. And so be thinking about people while I'm, talking, because I'm hoping that it'll help you in the place of relationships. Okay. So in order to do this, what I want to do is I want to pull from a flagship teaching that I have about creativity, actually. It's called Unlocking Creative Flow. That's the name of the class. And I want to kind of reteach it here, but in a relational context. Because I think it gives a really good framework for how you are and how other people are and how to influence and impact other people according to the protocols of God. Did you know that there's an appropriate way to have relationships and then inappropriate ways to have relationships? Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because we want to go with the current of the river, right? We don't want to work against the current. We don't want to swim upstream. What do I mean by that? I'm saying that we want to go in the direction that God has already designed creation to work. We don't want to work against the design. That means that the human heart and mind has a design in the way that it works, and so does human connection, right? So let's talk about it. So the original kind of premise of the Unlocking Creative Flow material is actually about art. Now, You might not consider yourself an artist, but I would say that you probably are. Only in the sense that, or maybe, I don't know, maybe a better way to say it is you're a creator, okay? You're a creator. Maybe artist has more of a, it has a specific connotation, right? You're either painting or like drawing or you're a musician or whatever. Even if you don't do that stuff, at the end of the day, you're a creator because God's a creator, right? And so because we're a creator, we have to follow the protocol of creativity, which is first spiritual and then natural. Now, we see this play out in our lives for as long as we have memory of this life, right? We are expressing constantly. Even these words I'm speaking to you is an act of creation, right? I'm taking intangible things and making it tangible. I'm taking spiritual things and making it material. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're a creator, whether you know it or not, you're a creator. And so if you treat yourself as a creator, then you expressing yourself and hopefully connecting to other people becomes a craft and it becomes a skill that you can develop. Okay? It's not just that we're born with, certain talents or favor with people where I'm a people person or I'm an extrovert. Like, it doesn't work like that, man. We're all made for human connection, and it's a skill that we could grow in. And it's deeply spiritual. Okay? Now, I'm going to break down three levels of creating. And if you understand these three levels and how they work, it's actually going to allow you to become better at relationships. Okay? So I'm going to go through all three levels and then I'm going to go one by one and explain it. Okay? Level 1, expression. Level 2, connection. Level 3, impact. Okay? Expression, connection, impact. Now, each of these levels are valid levels of creating. And the thing is, you can't get to the next level without the level that came before it. And so even if you're at the lowest level, it's very important. Okay? It's crucial. Now, let's start off at level 1. Level 1 is expression. This is the most basic level of creating. It's taking intangible things, making it tangible. These words that I'm speaking to you right now, before they became, pronounced through my body, my vocal cords, my tongue, my mouth, making these shapes, traveling through the airwaves and getting to you, before it became physical, it was first spiritual. Because there had to be something in my heart I wanted to communicate and I wanted to express. And so I filtered that out. I filtered that out through the realm of my soul. I created language around it. I made it into a concept. I gave it verbiage. And now it's coming out my mouth and reaching you in order to communicate. This is expression. We do this when we're babies, right? We do this all the time, whether we know it or not. These facial expressions are a physical manifestation of something spiritual on the inside of me. Even a baby, when they're crying, they're expressing something. Now, the mystery is we're trying to figure out what the heck they're expressing, but they're expressing something. Maybe they are uncomfortable and they're crying because they don't have words to describe it. Maybe they're hungry and they cry because they don't know how to say, I'm hungry. Maybe they, pooped in their diaper and they got a little rash. And so it's hurtful. And so they're crying because of that. We don't know, but we do know that they're trying to express something. Okay, so expression is the most basic level of creating. It's level 1. And expressing is a skill that you have to develop, right? You have to get better as you get older and as you mature. You have to get better at expressing yourself. We can't just be dilly-dallying in our expression and then expect other people to just get us or understand us. And when they don't, get mad at them for not understanding us. We haven't worked on our craft. We haven't worked on ourselves to try to be the best communicator, the best expressor that I can be. So we don't want to be entitled when it comes to other people. We want to focus on us and try to do the best we can and develop the skills of expression. A way to know that if you are growing in expression or if you are mastering it is when you master expression, there is no gap between what's in your heart and mind and what gets expressed, meaning that what you express becomes an accurate and faithful representation of what is on the inside of you. That's when you know you have mastered expression. Maybe in one area, right? Because again, there's a lot of different kinds of expression, right? I could express through words, I could express through melody, I could express through video, right? And so those are all different ways to express, but each of those things, your goal is to make sure that what you express is an accurate representation, faithful to what's on the inside, right? So once we grow in our expression and we master that level, then we got to start moving along the ladder, the creator's ladder, to the second level, which is connection, right? Connection. Expression is all about you. Connection is all about other people. So connection is when I do what I was doing before on level 1, expressing, right? Connection is when I express with others in mind. Connection is when I express with others in mind, because I could be a very masterful creator and express exactly what I'm feeling and thinking, but unless that translates to other people and they're able to understand what I'm saying, we're never going to establish a connection. We're never going to establish a connection. And then what? You're not going to be able to get anything done. You're going to be, in your own little world. We're not made for that. Yet so many people live in this dimension, the dimension of self. And they wonder why their relationships suffer. And they wonder why they fight all the time with their parents or children. They wonder why. Because they don't know how to consider other people. And let me be clear. I'm not saying considering them from your perspective. I'm saying considering them from their perspective. Because I'm sure you think, and we've all done this, okay? So I'm not even, pointing the finger. I've done this. We all consider other people according to my value system. I've considered other people according to what I want for them. I've considered other people according to my preferences and my vision for the relationship. I'm projecting all of that. It was never fruitful because a relationship takes at least two, right? You can't have a relationship all by yourself. That's not how that works. And so I didn't realize I was being so prideful and full of ego. I thought I was thinking of them, but I really wasn't. I was thinking about them, but I was really thinking about, what did I say? I was thinking about them, but I was really thinking of me. So you don't want to consider other people from your perspective. You want to consider them from their perspective. That means you got to let go of your preferences, man. I know you have desires. That's fine. It's not wrong to have. But if you really want to connect with other people, you got to see them for who they are, not who you want them to be. Okay? We have so much unnecessary heartache around the fact that we can't keep our pride in check, and we think we're serving other people when in reality we're enslaving them to our preferences and expectations. That's worthy of repentance, guys. I'm trying to help you in your relationships, okay? So we don't want to operate that way, right? No one likes that. You don't like that. Why would anyone else like that? So level 2, connection, right? It's expressing with others in mind. And as I do that, I'm going to need to then adjust the ways that I'm expressing myself, which could be hard because I just got here. I got to the place of mastery. Now you're telling me that I got to switch things up a bit? Yes, you do. Because you have a new objective now, right? You have a new objective, which is to connect. So then you have to kind of test things out. Okay, what kind of person is in front of me? Are they a little sensitive? Maybe they like to joke. Maybe, they have a specific interest or sense of humor. How could I speak their language and connect to them? These are all questions you should be asking. And they're skills that then you have to develop if you care about connecting with them. And it's not even just, connecting isn't just about expressing. It's also about letting them express to you. Ask them questions. What do you like? What do you dislike? What do you think about this? Do you want to do this? Or would you rather do this? Why? You better be asking questions too. It's not just about telling them what you think. It's about getting to know them back. Because that's how trust is established, right? See, what happens in the realm of the spirit is that when you connect with someone authentically, you create a bridge from inside your heart to the inside of their heart. By you opening up your heart and being vulnerable, you're inviting them to do the same. Now, they might not want to, and they might reject you, which is hard, and that sucks. But they are free to do that, and you have to be willing to risk being rejected if you want authentic connection. Because unless you're willing to risk it, you're going to actually end up not connecting with them, but trying to force a connection. That's not a real relationship. Do you understand? So in the realm of the spirit, when we open our hearts and they open their hearts back to us, it creates a bridge from the deep unto the deep. From my heart to their heart. It's a very deeply spiritual thing that happens when you connect to someone the right way according to God's design instead of trying to white knuckle, your connection according to your flesh. Okay? Now, this is powerful because now two realms have become connected. What do I mean by that is, look, I am a realm unto myself. There are things within me that are unique to me, and it is a world. If that's true of me, that's true of another person. So creating an authentic connection means I'm bridging two realms together. Wow. That's where the economy of relationships become established. Because now I can relate to them. Because I have access to them. That's sick. Are you understanding? All right. Level 3. Level 3 is impact. Now, this is the one that requires the least effort if you've done level 1 and level 2 well. Impact. You don't even need to try. You're going to do it organically because they trust you. They open their heart and their realm up to you. Now you have a level of access in order to export what's inside of you so that they could import it into their hearts and choose to change authentically. Right? Think about your own life. When you came to Christ, it was an inside job. There was nothing about what you did externally. There was nothing about you performing or trying to law keep that brought you into the revelation of Christ. It was an inside job. And when you got acquainted with the grace of the message of the gospel, you wanted to change. You had a renewed spirit. And maybe it was a little bit of process. Maybe there was some friction. You had to work some things out. But at the end of the day, it was an authentic transformation that came from the renewing of your mind and the regeneration of your heart. So what happened first? The outward change or the inward change? It's the inward change. And look, we've all experienced religion. So then what happens if you do the opposite? If you try to change the outside, or if some system or if some community try to force you to change on the outside without ever giving you a chance to authentically change on the inside, you're going to hate that, right? It's not life-giving. You become a rule keeper and then you burn out and then you leave because none of it's authentic. If that's true for you, why would it not be true for someone else? This is our design. This is how God made us. So if that's true for you, that's true of your son. If that's true for you, that's true of your daughter, your mother, your father, your friends, your coworkers. You should not be expecting any change unless something happens in their heart. And you don't deserve to move anything in their heart unless you're willing to accept them for who they actually are. Courage. Because it's a very entitled thing to expect people to change when you're not willing to love them, you're not willing to understand them, you're not willing to connect to them for who they are. You're coming in there with an agenda. Look, if someone walked into my house and started moving around my furniture, I would kick them the heck out of here. I'd be like, what are you doing? You're not authorized to be here. This is my house. Why are you moving your furniture? Why are you moving my furniture around according to your will? I put it there for a reason. Do you see how inappropriate that is? It's a violation. So remember, we're a realm unto ourselves and so are other people. And so the right way to do it is to create connection, build the relationship, right? Get to know them. Let them know you. Earn their trust. And whatever exchange happens between you guys, it'll lead to transformation because the love is there. Powerful, powerful stuff. This is powerful. Now, that's just the teaching on a principle level. Along the way, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. I'm telling you now. You think you know yourselves now? You're going to learn a lot about yourself. And look, that's the beauty of relationships. That's why God puts us in families. That's why God puts us in communities, a place of work, in our friend groups. Because the friction, our differences, reveal to us something that we wouldn't know about ourselves unless we had something to contrast ourselves with in the person of another being. So every time I have an argument with someone, however I react, that's more of a reflection on me. Oh, wow, I didn't realize I was so passionate about this. Oh, wow, I didn't realize I was so confrontational. Or, oh, wow, I didn't realize I was so passive aggressive. Man, this is uncomfortable. I got to change. I got to grow. You're going to learn so much as you try to walk this out. I'm just hoping that this protocol, this teaching, is going to kind of ease the friction a little bit and give you a big picture understanding of what it is you're working out, and how to the best of your abilities, do things the right way. Because, man, you're going to need it. Relationships are hard. There's a lot of room for misunderstanding, miscommunication. There's a lot of room for growth. There's a lot of room for self-sacrifice and compromise. That's just how relationships are. And in the process, don't ever forget that as much as they're changing, you are too. You're coming into your glory by way of friction. It sucks, but it's beautiful, So, that's the teaching on relational intelligence. I'm sure there's plenty of other topics we could get into under that umbrella, whether it's the role of emotions, whether it's the counsel of our mind or the mind of Christ. Matter of fact, I should really record an episode on that, huh? Yes, Lord. Amen. But again, there's a lot that we could touch on there. Different personality types, right? Giftings, burdens, passions. There's a ton. There's a ton under that relational intelligence umbrella. So maybe this is something we can revisit. And why don't you just let me know in the comments what topics under the umbrella of relational intelligence you think would be helpful for your life. And I will try to tackle those things in due time, because I think we got a queue of amazing topics coming up. Yeah, so that's about it for this episode. As always, if you like this video, do me a favor. I don't care if you like it, but I want you to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button because I want to stay connected. I want us to, have a means to keep doing this because we got a lot of fun videos coming your way. And so, yeah, I just wanted to let you know I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. And I'm glad you guys are here joining me every week to help elevate the spiritual intelligence of the world, man. Look, I'm on a mission. We're going to do this thing. Man, we're in such a time where spiritual intelligence is at an all-time high in terms of demand. We're just scratching the surface. As technology advances with the advent of AI, you're going to see that humanity is going to be looking for voices like yours to help them navigate this world of artificial intelligence. Look, AI is not new technology. It's been around in the spirit for as long as humanity has existed. For us, we have access to divine intelligence, spiritual intelligence. And so as we grow in spiritual intelligence, we're going to have a lot to offer the world who is suffering for a lack of knowledge, who is being governed by technology, governed by AI. We're going to be able to help a lot of people. And so if that resonates with you, if you rock with us, please tap in, be a part of our movement. We got amazing things ahead. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next week, Monday, same time, same place. Bye.